We truly are witnessing a significant event, as you have seen through even your reporting through the last few days. Karnataka has introduced a new model. It is a model to deal with the situation of Naxals. It has been an amazing transition that has happened over these few days. We are all well aware that these are things that have been happening, actions that have been happening across the country, Chhattisgarh, Andhra, so on and so forth. Karnataka stands in a position to show a new way of moving forward. Karnataka has learned from its 5 decades of Naxalite action in this state. But it has possibly come of age. As you all witnessed, the Chief Minister welcomed the 6 Naxalites who came out of their habitat that they have been working in across maybe 2.5 decades. They have returned to the democratic movement. The transition has been not about any goals. It is about the way to approach things going forward. So in this regard, we want to pinpoint 3 aspects which I want to lay down in order to sort of see this press conference in this broader context of why is this so significant. The 6 Naxalites, when they came out, said very, very clearly to the government and to the broader society that this is not a surrender. And I will quote, "We have not abandoned the struggle. We are changing the path of struggle, and we will continue to fight for the people till the very end of our lives." This is significant because there is a unity of the goal and the means are changing with time. So, going further, there has also been a statement of saying that we are not coming out with any fear or pressure. We are coming out because we feel that the next stage of our struggle needs to transit into another approach. Government in this situation has provided that opportunity. So, it is important to acknowledge that the coming together of how the Naxalites intended to change their path of resistance, of struggle, shifting from armed struggle to the democratic struggle. This is important. It is important for you as media also to project this as not something as Naxalites being, that is a nuisance that happens on the side. There is a response here on a social justice issue which is deep rooted in this society. People choose different paths. The time has come for these 6 courageous people to actually take a new path, to this new path. So, civil society, so this has sort of this creation of this new model has we beseech you to create a new language on this new way of things going forward. The second thing, why should there be a new language? Because there is a new teamwork, a new partnership, there is a new way of working between which in a democratic society must happen. And this is the moment which has shown that when civil society and government work together, magic can happen. And I invite you and urge you to think of the magic that has just happened. It is truly one of those moments which, if you were to look at it in a chemistry lab, when you add the right ingredients into an experiment, and it is a success. But those ingredients are important. Civil society played a role, and a very significant role, in convincing and working with the Naxals to consider and think beyond what they were already thinking about as to which is the way forward at this moment. The government provided the framework in which this could actually happen. So surely you could see how this teamwork has actually worked. The role here, I would like to urge and underline, is that civil society has played a very significant role in initiating this process, but taking the surety of the government that they will also stand by their own responsibilities. This is partnership. This is teamwork, with the trust, the coordination, and an extremely pinpointed, decisive way of working together. And thirdly, and finally, we must remember we live in a society with deep, deep injustices. You report it every day on a daily basis. There are struggles that continue in this country in various ways. We have just witnessed something which has transited, but the energy in that has sustained, because the Naxals themselves have said the goals haven't changed, the approach has. And therefore, we actually caution that going forward, this force that is getting channeled cannot be resisted against. It has to find its right channel to create the kind of impact we require as a broader society. This is not a battle of 6 Naxals. This is the goals that we will all be very familiar with, whether it's land rights, whether it's food security, or whatever it might be. But equal rights is not something we practice on a daily basis in this country. So, I want to end with saying, this force must be channeled into serious, uncompromising, democratic force of struggle and enabling that. This is something significant for the state, most definitely, but it is something that is going to be significant going forward for this country as a whole. And you will play a role in seeing those differences. What happens in Chhattisgarh is very different from what happens in Karnataka. Ask the question why. So therefore, this is something to just frame it for you in terms of how we want to move forward in this press conference. So we will be going into the background of what is the basis on which we have arrived at this place. We will move into the chronology of things, the way they rolled out over these days that have passed. And then we will look at the future and the expectations and responsibilities that we see ahead.
ಇದು ಏಷ್ಯಾನೆಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿ.
ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಏಷ್ಯಾನೆಟ್ ಸುವರ್ಣ ನ್ಯೂಸ್.